Hey, what's your name and badge number? What is it?
Badge Robert 1476. My name is Officer Larson.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Yeah. Hey, what's your name and badge number?
Did you hear that? Good boy. That's just an example of a new trend on TikTok that's gaining steam in schools. While it may seem like a joke on the surface, words obviously impactful. They can hurt. The people expert, Dr. Sabrina Jackson, is here to help us talk about kids and the power behind things they say. And I'm not sure if that was the greatest example of this, because what's happening is in schools now, you know, you tell the kid next to you, hey, can I have that pencil? And gives you the pencil. Good boy. You're basically treating your fellow students
like they're less than you.
Yes, like animals, essentially.
Yeah,
like an animal, like you'd say to your dog, good boy.
Yeah. Tapping you on the head. And so it can seem like it is harmless, but it can definitely be demeaning. It could be belittling, and it's something that people can use to bully. And so it is so important for parents to understand when you may hear that, you may not know, but that's why we teach you, so that you can know, so that you know that you need to do some things. And so the first thing you need to do is start with open communication. Just ask questions and not accuse. Don't say, well, I heard you say that and you meant this. No, I might not have meant that. But to have the conversation about it is something that parents need to do. I used to with my son. He's 32 now. Can you believe it? But 32 now. But we used to have what we call just kicking it days. And we would go out and eat, and he could ask me any question, and I would answer, and I could ask him any question, and he would answer.
But can I just say, like it's just kick it day.
Yeah.
Even if it has to be something that you name to make it fun, to make it less threatening of a conversation, essentially, that's a great idea.
It is a wonderful,
it can be such a disarming thing to call it something.
Just kicking it.
Right, just kicking it.
Just kicking it day.
Right.
Or then you want to make sure that you're educating them about the power of words, the impact of words, and the power of respect. That is huge, because if you want respect, you really have to give respect. And so you don't want to just do things that you see other people doing or that you see on TikTok, because it may be harmful for someone else. And think about it, empathy is the #1 skill that's necessary with a conflict. And so stop and allow the children to look at it from the other person's point of view.
You mentioned TikTok, or whether it's Snapchat or any other social media situation. The things that these kids, and I call them kids, I don't know what else to call them, young people, youth, see on social media that they think is cool, that they try to recreate. Maybe it's a challenge, maybe it's a phrase,
maybe it's a dance,
a dance, whatever.
Okay.
How impactful that could be in such a negative sense.
Yes.
How do you fight through that?
Again, you have to talk about it, and you have to address when we see the negative parts of it, when we see that there are kids who do things negatively because of how they have been treated by their peers. And so we want to be able to talk about them so that we allow the young person to know that this is a safe place to come and talk about it. If they are feeling bullied, or they are feeling that someone is saying negative things to them and they are keeping it and holding it inside, because so often they may not tell. They may act the same at home, but they are really going through something. So you want to be able to just have those conversations about what is going on. And I think another big thing for parents is modeling. Modeling positive language and behaviors, and be honest and transparent about when you may have had a struggle.
Dr. Sabrina, I think that is probably the biggest one.
Yes.
If your kids see you
as human.
Well, as human and as, you know, communicating, maybe they would do that themselves. If they don't see that, how do they know how to do it?
They don't know how to do it if they don't see it. And know this, that you are not your child's only influence. And so make sure that you're doing things on a regular basis so that you can be that powerful influence. But this is the last point is super critical when it comes to what they see. Make sure that you're challenging the trend, that you're challenging their behaviors by saying, think instead of just imitate. I don't want to imitate what I see. I want to think about whether this is something that really exposes the goodness in me.
And as a parent, you have to want to know the truth, too. Right? I mean, we're going to talk about this coming up. I mean, a lot of people don't ask because they don't want to know.
They don't want to know, yeah. Or
they don't
that you're so busy in your life and what's going on with you that you just give them the
device, the phone,
the tablet, and you don't get down to just taking it all away, like you said.
That's right.
And just have conversations.
We're going to talk more about this coming up in the next hour. That show, Adolescence, on Netflix,
oh my God,
really grabbed everybody that saw it.
Yes.
How to start a conversation, because that is the biggest piece in trying to communicate
with your young person.
Yes, absolutely. Elle, over to you.
Watching the 9.
The Netflix drama Adolescence is a coming-of-age drama that explores the tumultuous journey of a young teenager navigating the complexities, and there are many of them, of growing up. This has led to many parents reflecting, considering how they can support and develop their own children. Dr. Sabrina is back with some advice on how to do that. Now, I watched this. It completely rattled me. I talked to somebody else that watched this, and it didn't have the same effect on them. But this social media world these kids are growing up in is something that, you know,
we didn't have.
This is the first time we had to learn how to parent this stuff.
And it's a thing. And so I think the first thing is that as a parent, you have to make sure you stay connected with their social circles. Who are their friends? Who are they talking to? What are they watching? And so you can't impact something that you don't know.
And speaking of that, I just wanted to bring this part up too, just a big picture. When shows like this come out and generate so much buzz, what does that do for parents? What does that do for kids? Do kids start talking amongst themselves? Do parents start talking to each other? What does that buzz generate?
Well, I think that it can be either a reactive space or a proactive space. And as a parent, I try to always look at things proactively. So what things can I do to make sure that we aren't there? And if we are, what things do I need to do to make sure we don't stay there in someplace negatively? And I need to not be making things personal, because a lot of parents have felt guilt and shame that they did not know. Well, if you didn't know, now what can you do so that you do know?
What can you do? You know,
well, like I said in the first segment, the first thing is that you need to have open conversation. You need to have a regular routine of just kicking it. Let's just sit down and talk about whatever, what you want to talk about, what I want to talk about, because there's so much going on and we don't know. And then maybe sometimes we can do things together that can help us make something that we see in the social media world fun at home, just among us.
Communication, just communicating with people, is
huge.
Well, it's probably one of the most important parts of life, and it feels like one of the parts of life that most people, and I say this, most people are bad at it.
Oh, yes. And we think that we're
from
good
adults
at it.
To younger people.
Because think about it, we're not taught how to do that. And then when the number one way we learn something is by modeling. So if the models you had weren't good at it, 9 times out of 10, you're not good at it because you haven't taken the time to get the lessons that you need. And so there are things that we can do to learn about our communication, our nonverbal communication. Some people just have a resting face that says, leave me the hell alone. That's what the resting face says. They don't mean it, but they just do. And so,
chiming in from the gallery
over there. So we need to make sure that we're monitoring technology, we're monitoring social media. Let me say this, parents. Your children shouldn't have privacy. There's no such thing as privacy when I'm paying all the bills. I just don't get it. And so when you say, get out of my room, you don't need to know that. Yes, I do, because I am right now the supervisor of your life. When you become an adult, I become the supporter of your life. Know the difference and stand in the space. There's a reason why we have parents. And then the last thing, which is so important, you may need to seek external support. And external support doesn't have to be a professional. I thank God for my brother. Shamar, hey, thank you, whose birthday is coming up May 4th.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Early.
He has been a tremendous support with my son. Other men, because I was a single mother, I needed men. My cousin, Corey Chapman, shout out to you. Amazing support for my son. And then the coaches. Oh my God, he had a coach. Coach Speedy from the family was amazing with my son. And so I didn't take it personally that there were things that I couldn't talk to him about.
Right.
I had support in doing that.
It's just, I could talk to you about this for so long. I mean,
Because you're a parent.
Yeah, it is one of the greatest challenges of life. Figure out what these young
But they
people
don't come with a little manual.
No, they don't. Hey, Saturday, you're the keynote speaker of a great event.
Yes, it is called the Mental Health Summit. It's going to be at the UWM facility in Pontiac from 12 to 4. It's absolutely free. If you go to my website, I'll have the flyer there, but it's free, so come out. You're going to have free health testing. I have a new book coming out. We'll be doing book signing on Saturday, and we're talking about moving from trauma to triumph.
SabrinaJackson.com is the website. Also, if you want to catch her on social media, at the People Expert _. Marielle, over to you.